Hi there guys, so it was recently reported that Anthony Joshua was looking to throw a curveball in the rematch with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. That would be a rerun of the fight that will happen on February 22nd. There is a rematch clause for Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, making that the third fight between the two of them. Now Anthony Joshua explained he wanted to throw a curveball in there and get that undisputed fight done this year instead of that rematch happening. He thought that Deontay Wilder, if he were to win, could change the terms and conditions of his contract in order to get out of that Tyson Fury rematch and have the undisputed fight with Anthony Joshua that everyone in the world of boxing, and perhaps more than that, have been waiting for. But Shelly Finkel, or Shelly Winkle, whichever you would like to call him, I'm going to go with Shelly Winkle, has said that Anthony Joshua is out of his mind by saying this because there is a rematch clause and the fight will definitely happen between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. So there will definitely be a total of 3 fights between those two for the WBC World title. Now, Deontay Wilder often says one face, one name, one champion, Deontay Wilder. Yet he wants to fight Tyson Fury again. Now, there is no problem with fighting Tyson Fury. That is a good fight. And it shows he's finally stepping up to the plate. But does he really want to fight Anthony Joshua? Because if he did, he could do that. He doesn't necessarily have to agree to the terms of a rematch with Tyson Fury. Because why? Tyson Fury isn't a champion. Yes, he has that lineal status. But Deontay Wilder as the champion, the WBC World Champion, although Tyson Fury is the rightful champion, but still, Deontay Wilder is the champion on paper. So he can dictate whether he wants that rematch or not necessarily Tyson Fury. Now, additionally, this fight is apparently between Deontay Wilder, the WBC World Champion, and the now mandatory Tyson Fury. Apparently he's mandatory. So in a mandatory fight, you don't have to give a rematch clause. In fact, that is added to the contract if the champion wants to do that, but only if they make a deal before the purse bids are called. If the purse bids are called, then they cannot do a rematch. It's only if a deal is done before that stage. So Deontay Wilder specifically wanted to do that. So if he wants a rematch with Tyson Fury, again, fair play to him, it's a tough fight. But clearly he doesn't want to fight Anthony Joshua, because if he did, if that was really important to him, if one face, one name, one champion was that important, he wouldn't be doing the rematch with Tyson Fury. Now, Shelly Winkle had this to say about Anthony Joshua's comments of throwing a curveball in there and trying to scooper that third fight. I don't know what Anthony Joshua is talking about. We are not interested in any offer. Deontay's and our focus is on Tyson Fury. At this moment, we are not focusing on anything else. Sound familiar, guys? I mean, this guy, Shelly Winkle, and Deontay Wilder and Al Heyman pulling the strings from behind the scenes clearly don't want to put their man in with Anthony Joshua because they believe he will lose. Even though they were apparently so brave after Anthony Joshua lost that fight to Andy Ruiz Jr., they are still not willing to put their names on the dotted line. And why? They don't want their man on a Matchroom show. They don't want him on a DAZN show. They want him on their platform where they can control him, where they can manipulate him. Because maybe Deontay Wilder could be persuaded. Maybe Deontay Wilder would take that fight if he was advised correctly. Now, Shelly Winkle should know better. He has advised Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield in the past, so he should know better. Deontay Wilder is his only fighter. So why is he not giving Deontay Wilder that opportunity? Deontay Wilder could have the opportunity to be one face, to be one name, to be one champion. But he won't do it. And it's not just down to Deontay Wilder. I don't believe Deontay Wilder wants to fight Anthony Joshua. Because realistically, Anthony Joshua can do to Deontay Wilder what Deontay Wilder is doing to other fighters. And Deontay Wilder said before, his own power scares him. So knowing someone else across from him in the ring has that similar kind of power, I think the thought of that kind of puts Deontay Wilder off. He knows what Anthony Joshua can do, because look at Anthony Joshua's track record. Vladimir Klitschko, Carlos Takam, Alexander Povetkin, Joseph Parker, Andy Ruiz Jr. twice. So Anthony Joshua has clearly proven what level he is on and what opponents he is willing to take on back to back, one after another. He doesn't take any gimme fights. I mean, look at him now. He's looking to vacate the IBF title and go and fight Alexander Usyk because it's a better fight. And if I was advising Anthony Joshua, I would say go for the Pulev fight. Not because it's an easier fight, but because that IBF title, once it's gone, it's going to be very difficult to get back because it will go to a different broadcasting system and a different platform. Either Kubrat Pulev with Top Rank or Adam Kownacki with PBC. Although Adam Kownacki is now fighting Robert Hernelius, so that might throw a spanner in the works, but still, that means that IBF title will be out of Anthony Joshua's reach, whereas if he were to vacate the WBO title, it would be contested between Joseph Parker and Alexander Usyk, 2 Matchroom fighters and 2 fighters who would go straight into a unification fight with Anthony Joshua. granting him the opportunity to regain that belt. Yet Anthony Joshua is still looking to fight Alexander Usyk because it's the tougher fight. He even had a meeting with Alexander Usyk's team and manager, Alexander Krasayuk. So clearly Anthony Joshua is willing to put it all on the line. He has been calling for this Deontay Wilder fight for a very long time. So has Deontay Wilder, but who has actually done something about it? Anthony Joshua has been the one who is unifying. He's had like 24 fights. Deontay Wilder has had over 40, yet Deontay Wilder has never had a unification fight. He's been champion since 2015. There was plenty of opportunities for him to try and make a unification fight, but he didn't do it. Why not? He says he was too inexperienced at the time, but Anthony Joshua has been unifying since his 19th fight, half the fights that Deontay Wilder has had. So what does that tell you about Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder? Does that tell you that Deontay Wilder wants to be one face, one name, one champion? Or does that tell you he just wants to talk about it and let Anthony Joshua actually do it? Because Anthony Joshua isn't just talking about it. He's going ahead and doing it. He's building his legacy. He's having those tough fights back to back. Yet Deontay Wilder, he is always tiptoeing around the Anthony Joshua fight. If he wanted that fight, he's been offered plenty of money to take it. Yet he still won't. So he doesn't want to fight Anthony Joshua. And Shelly Finkel, Al Heyman are protecting him, keeping him away. I mean, you think they would believe that he could beat Anthony Joshua? If they're advising him, if they're on his side, you'd think they'd say, go ahead and have that fight because you'll gain all of the world titles. If Shelly Finkel and Al Heyman really believed that Deontay Wilder could win that fight, they would put him in there. If they didn't, they wouldn't. And that is why they haven't put Deontay Wilder in there with Anthony Joshua, because they don't believe he wins that fight. And they don't want to risk the WBC world title being on DAZN, being on Matchroom, and being with Anthony Joshua, the rightful champion, the undisputed champion. Because, as I said, if they believe their man could win, they would chuck him in there. They obviously don't. That is why they won't do it. Now, obviously, there are politics in boxing, and it seems to get in the way of those big fights happening. But when those fights really need to be made, when they should be made, and the fans call for it, they usually do. The broadcasting systems will come together in order to do that. I mean, look at Mayweather versus Pacquiao. That was done, so there is no reason why Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder cannot be done across different platforms. But Deontay Wilder and his team just won't do it. It's not going to happen that way. Now, the only way it does happen, I think, is if Deontay Wilder crosses over to DAZN, if he leaves them behind. I don't think they are going to be willing to put Deontay Wilder in with Anthony Joshua because they don't want to risk that WBC world title crossing over to a different platform because they need it on theirs. Because look, they've already ruined Showtime boxing and now they have moved on to Fox. And that was after Deontay Wilder said he was going to show loyalty to Showtime and not take the DAZN deal. But now he has crossed over to Fox Sports. He has to because Showtime cannot afford to pay him considering what he brings in. So him showing loyalty to Showtime clearly wasn't the reason why he didn't take that offer to go on DAZN, fight his mandatory Dominic Breazeale for 20 million, and then fight Anthony Joshua for 40 million, and then 40 million again in a rematch. How much is he getting for the Tyson Fury fight? How much is he going to get for the rematch of that one as well? I mean, there has been no promotion for the fight. I mean, if anything, the promotion of the fight has actually put me off the fight more than making me want to see it. I mean, I think that's a separate video, but still, the promotion of that fight isn't great. He's not going to make a lot of money off of that fight. He won't make a lot off the rematch either, but he will make a lot in the AJ fight. He's a prize fighter, right? He wants to be one face, one name, one champion. Time to prove it. It seems that Shelly Finkel does not believe in his man Deontay Wilder, because if he did, he would put him in there with Anthony Joshua to win all of the world titles and bring them back to his platform, because clearly he doesn't want to do that because he believes Deontay Wilder will lose. Otherwise, he would go ahead and do it. And they have everything to lose because they will lose the WBC world title and the opportunity to control that belt, and Deontay Wilder will no longer be a champion. He doesn't make money anyway as a champion. So just think, what are they going to do with him if he doesn't have that WBC world title? They need to make sure he stays as WBC world champion. That is why they are so adverse to putting him in there with Anthony Joshua. Guys, what are your thoughts on this? Shelly Finkel explaining that Deontay Wilder will not entertain any offers from Anthony Joshua to fight for Undisputed this year. And that is completely off the table once again. Guys, drop your thoughts in the comments below, click the thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.